Alright, picture this, East Asia, got it? Now zoom in past China, past that really big sea, there it is, Taiwan. A whole island just vibing off the coast. Think Japan had a baby with the Philippines, but like, adopted by Chinese culture? That's Taiwan in a nutshell. Beautiful, complicated family history, and way more interesting than your average island getaway. Taiwan's location? Prime real estate, smack dab in the middle of major shipping lanes. Everyone from traders to, less than friendly navies wanted a piece of this island. This strategic importance? Yeah, it's gonna come up a lot in our story. Just saying, buckle up. Way back when, like way back, Taiwan was all chill. Indigenous people living their best lives, fishing, farming, probably inventing bubble tea, who knows? Point is, it was their party, and they were rocking it. Then the mainlanders showed up. Chinese folks, mostly from Fujian province, decided island life looked pretty sweet. Can't blame them, beaches are nice. So they hopped on boats and said ni hao to the locals. It was a whole cultural exchange thing, with languages mixing, customs blending, and probably some awkward first dates. This went on for centuries, creating the unique cultural cocktail we call Taiwan today. Fast forward to the 1600s. Europe's on a discovering spree, which mostly involved borrowing land that wasn't theirs. Ah, colonialism, classic. First up, the Dutch. They saw Taiwan, saw the trading potential and thought, let's build a fort. Because nothing says we come in peace like a giant stone fortress. The Spanish, never ones to be left out, popped up in the north like, hey, what's up? We brought cannons. Turns out, nobody told the indigenous people about this whole being colonized thing. They weren't exactly thrilled. Few years of resistance, skirmishes, and the Dutch learning the hard way that Taiwan wasn't just up for grabs. Spoiler alert, it never really was. Section 4, Rising Sun, Setting Freedom, Japan's turn at bat. Sadly, the Europeans weren't the last to try the whole ruling Taiwan thing. After the Europeans, another power set its sights on Taiwan. In 1895, after a war, China had to hand Taiwan over to Japan. This marked the beginning of a new era for the island. Like a roommate who eats your leftovers and never replaces them, Japan spent the next 50 years trying to make Taiwan more Japanese. They implemented policies to reshape the island in their image. They built stuff, modernized things, but also weren't super keen on letting Taiwanese people be, themselves. Infrastructure improved, but at a cultural cost. Imagine having to speak a whole new language, celebrate different holidays, and constantly prove your loyalty to a country that took over yours. The Japanese enforced their language and customs, making life difficult for the locals. It was a rough time, to put it mildly. Resistance and protests were common as the Taiwanese people struggled to maintain their identity. The silver lining? This period sowed the seeds for a distinct Taiwanese identity, separate from mainland China. Despite the hardships, the Taiwanese culture began to evolve uniquely. It's like that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you really resentful of foreign powers. The Japanese occupation left a lasting impact, shaping Taiwan's future in unexpected ways. Section 5, Divided We Stand, Taiwan. After World War II, 1945, World War II ends, everyone breathes a sigh of relief. The world is ready to rebuild, to move forward, to heal from the scars of war. Cities are in ruins, but there's hope in the air. People are dancing in the streets, celebrating the dawn of a new era. Except Taiwan. See, Japan lost, which meant leaving Taiwan. The Japanese soldiers packed up, lowered their flags, and sailed away, leaving behind a land that had been under their control for 50 years. Great! Except, instead of going back to being independent, Taiwan became part of, drumroll, China. But not just any China. It was a China that was itself in turmoil, grappling with its own identity and future. Again. Only this time it was the Republic of China, ROC, led by Chiang Kai-shek and his Nationalist Party, who had their own vision for the future of China, a vision that was now focused on Taiwan. They just lost a brutal and devastating war against the communists in mainland China. The nationalists were defeated, but not destroyed. They retreated to Taiwan, bringing with them their hopes, their dreams, and their military forces. Imagine moving back in with your parents after college, only to find your estranged uncle and his entire army crashing on the couch. The house is crowded, tensions are high, and everyone is trying to figure out their place in this new, chaotic family dynamic. The nationalists were like that estranged uncle, bringing with them not just their soldiers, but also their political ambitions and their determination to reclaim what they had lost. Awkward doesn't even begin to cover it. The situation was tense, confusing, and fraught with uncertainty. Families were divided, loyalties were tested, and the future was anything but clear. This marked the beginning of a whole new chapter: Taiwan and China, two separate entities, both claiming to be the real China. The world watched as this complex and delicate situation unfolded. Two flags, two governments, two visions for the future. The political landscape was a tangled web of alliances, rivalries, and conflicting claims. It was a situation that would shape the region for decades to come. It's complicated, like, really complicated. The story of Taiwan and China is one of resilience, conflict, and an ongoing struggle for identity and recognition. We're still unpacking this one. The history, the politics, the emotions. It's all part of a narrative that's still being written today. Section 6. From dictatorship to "hey, we can vote now," democracy arrives. So, the ROC takes over, right? Except, they weren't exactly known for their chill vibes. Think martial law, limited freedoms, and a one-party state. Not exactly the democratic paradise everyone was hoping for. But, and this is a big but, Taiwan's story takes another turn. From the 1970s onwards, people started speaking up. They wanted more freedom, more say in their government, and maybe a side of democracy with their bubble tea. It wasn't easy. There were protests, crackdowns, and a whole lot of tension. But slowly, incredibly, Taiwan transformed itself. By the 1990s, bam, full-fledged democracy, free elections, the whole shebang. It was a remarkable turnaround and proof that sometimes, even amidst political chaos, hope for a better tomorrow can prevail. Section 7. Taiwan today, tiny island, big impact. So, where are we now? Taiwan in 2025 is a vibrant democracy, a tech powerhouse, and a shining example of how to handle a global pandemic. Looking at you, COVID-19. This island nation has managed to carve out a unique space for itself on the global stage, despite its small size and complex political situation. They've got a unique culture, delicious food, and a rich history that dates back thousands of years. From bustling night markets filled with mouth-watering street food to serene temples that offer a glimpse into the island's spiritual side, Taiwan is a place where tradition and modernity coexist in harmony. And let's not forget their knack for making some of the coolest gadgets on the planet. Taiwan is home to some of the world's leading tech companies, producing everything from cutting-edge semiconductors to the latest smartphones. It's no wonder that this tiny island has earned a reputation as a tech innovator. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. China's still looming large, reminding everyone that they haven't forgotten about their wayward province. The tension between Taiwan and China is a constant undercurrent, influencing everything from politics to daily life. The Chinese government continues to assert its claim over Taiwan, and the military presence is a stark reminder of the potential for conflict. This geopolitical tension is a high-stakes game that has the world's attention. The international community is trying to figure out how to support Taiwan without causing a geopolitical meltdown. It's a high-wire act, with diplomats and leaders walking a tightrope to maintain peace and stability in the region. Taiwan is balancing its own identity against the pressures of its bigger, more powerful neighbor. The island's people are determined to maintain their way of life, their democracy, and their independence, even as they navigate these complex challenges. One thing's for sure: Taiwan's story is far from over. This resilient island continues to defy expectations, pushing forward with innovation, creativity, and a spirit of determination that is truly inspiring. This little island has a knack for overcoming challenges, whether they're natural disasters, economic hurdles, or political pressures. Taiwan's ability to adapt and thrive is a testament to the strength and resilience of its people. In times of adversity, the Taiwanese people come together, showing incredible solidarity and compassion. Whether it's through community efforts during a natural disaster or everyday acts of kindness, this spirit of unity is a cornerstone of Taiwanese society. And of course, who can forget the simple joys of life in Taiwan? A damn good cup of bubble tea can go a long way in bringing people together, offering a moment of comfort and connection in a rapidly changing world.